Today, Solana's mainnet suffers a 5-hour outage. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warns lawmakers of what she says are crypto's risks to the financial system. And Nick Johnson of Ethereum Name Service explains how a new partnership with web services platform GoDaddy can help remove barriers to Web3 adoption. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto prices are mixed today as of noon Eastern, with Bitcoin rising just about 1% to above $43,000 once again. Ether gained 2% this morning, now trading above $2,300 as investors rotated out of Solana, which sank around 1% after a major outage halted the network for about 5 hours. Okay, let's talk more about the downtime over on Solana. Data from blockchain explorer Solana FM shows transactions stopped processing around 5 a.m. Shortly after, Solana's status account on X said engineers across the ecosystem were investigating an outage on the mainnet. That eventually led engineers to push a software update to patch the issue and restart the network. By 10 a.m., roughly 5 hours after the outage began, Solana's network was up and running. Its status page lists the outage as the network's first in nearly a year, going back to February 25th, 2023. Network instability has been a criticism of the Solana network in the past. In 2022, it saw several bouts of outages and network instability. Next, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warned of the risks tied to crypto in a hearing on Capitol Hill. In her prepared testimony before the House Financial Services Committee, Yellen told lawmakers the crypto industry poses several potential hazards to the financial system. She also laid out 5 areas of focus for the Treasury-led Financial Stability Oversight Council, with one of those areas being digital assets. In her remarks, Yellen said the council is focused on digital assets and related risks, such as from runs on crypto asset platforms and stablecoins, potential vulnerabilities from crypto asset price volatility, and the proliferation of platforms acting outside of or out of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. She added that those regulations should be enforced and urged Congress to pass legislation to provide the regulation of stablecoins and of the spot market of crypto assets that are not deemed securities. Finally, a federal judge has ordered Ripple Labs to produce additional financial information around its institutional sales of XRP. The order comes at the request of the SEC and follows that major court ruling back in July, where a judge said Ripple did not violate securities law by offering XRP to the public on exchanges, but did when it sold the token directly to institutions. The document will help the judge determine what penalties Ripple faces for those institutional sales, and the order also grants the SEC an opportunity to formally question Ripple over those financial statements. Ripple filed a motion to oppose this request last month, calling the documents irrelevant. All right, for our main story, Crypto World's Talia Kaplan spoke with Nick Johnson, the founder of Web3 domain protocol Ethereum Name Service, about a new partnership with web hosting giant GoDaddy. Johnson breaks down how the new collaboration helps bridge the gap between Web 2 and Web 3 digital identities and how it hopes to remove barriers to Web 3 adoption.
An integration between Ethereum Name Service, which you founded, and GoDaddy went live yesterday with the goal of opening the door to more Web 3 adoption. The partnership aims to remove the barriers to adoption, specifically the high gas fees for linking standard domain names to Web3 ENS names, as executing this new integration will be without gas fees. Can you take us through how that's possible and elaborate on the goals of this new partnership?
Certainly. We've been focusing on ENS as a part of the global namespace, that is, including it with DNS, pretty much since day one. And we've had DNS import for a long time, but that's necessitated expensive gas fees, as you suggested. In parallel with that, we've been working on our Layer 2 strategy, which uses a technology called CCIP read. And the most recent development is that we've combined these two things together with a DNS import with CCIP read. And effectively what that means is that instead of the user having to send a transaction to prove they own a DNS name like yourname.com, all of that can now happen when the name is entered into a client, a wallet, or an app, and so forth, and resolved. So the result is that you now simply have to set up a record in your DNS setup and turn that on, and then your name works automatically and immediately with no gas fees or transactions required. Our integration with GoDaddy takes that one step further and makes it possible to do it in a very user-friendly way, where it simply prompts you through the process, asks you to enter your address, and just works without any technical know-how needed.
For those who don't know, you mentioned DNS. Can you explain what DNS is and elaborate a little bit more on ENS, what you founded?
Yes, so DNS is one of the fundamental protocols of the internet. It's what turns Amazon.com into the IP address, the underlying numbers that resolve into that website. So DNS has been a fundamental part of the internet for 30 plus years now. ENS is effectively the next evolution of that, built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. So with ENS, we're performing a similar task to the DNS, but focused on resolving cryptographic identifiers like wallet addresses.
So how did this partnership come about to begin with? Did you approach GoDaddy or vice versa?
We've been sort of very public about what we're working on in broad strokes in terms of the gasless DNS integration and so forth. And we've had outreaches from a number of registrars and registries, and GoDaddy was one of those. And we were very enthusiastic to work with them on this.
Now, I understand that ENS has more than 2 million registrants and that GoDaddy has more than 84 million domain names registered. And now those users can add Ethereum to their website. So essentially, their Web 2 domains can now link to the Ethereum Name Service. That's one major way to open the door to more adoption of Web 3. But what are some of the other benefits tied to this new integration?
We're excited about taking this a step further beyond simply resolving DNS names into Ethereum addresses. ENS already supports addresses for over 200 other blockchains. And so it'll be very easy to extend this and improve the user interface to allow nominating any of those as your address as well. ENS also supports being effectively your decentralized profile for the internet for Web3. So you can set profile pictures, avatars, links to your Twitter profile, and so on and so forth. And all of those come with you to any app that you sign in on that supports them. So with this new integration, all of that will be possible too, as soon as we simply set up the user interface for it.
Now, I want to turn to your outlook for Ethereum this year, specifically as it pertains to building and development. I understand you think that 2024 is going to be a big growth year. Why do you think that is?
I'm always really excited about Ethereum development and the fact that it continues to be sort of a vibrant community, not just the application level development, but more specifically building the base layer, improving Ethereum itself. I'm particularly excited this year because we're likely to see a couple of major improvement proposals go through, one of which is improving support for layer 2s via what's called blob space. And that will make it much more cost effective and easier to build L2s on top of Ethereum by storing data on the Ethereum blockchain for them. And the second is a little more esoteric. It's around temporary storage and contracts. And it will make a lot of common interactions that currently can be, cost prohibitive in terms of gas fees, a lot more practical.
What upcoming events are you paying attention to? Perhaps Ethereum's next big upgrade, which is expected to be completed in the first quarter of 2024 and is focused on increasing the scalability of the network. Is this something you're focused on? And how have the other upgrades, including the Merge and Shapella, changed the landscape for Ethereum?
I think, any upcoming hard fork is always, source of excitement. I'm a nerd like that. And this is no exception. So I'm very much looking forward to that, and also to just, seeing what new things we can build on top of it as a result. I think a lot of the upgrades will be, sort of consequent to that. It'll be L2s enhancing their capabilities as a result of the new functionality they can build on top of it. The further out stuff I always keep a close eye on, but I've had my time involved in core protocol development myself. I've been an EIP editor. I know just how slow these things can be at times, and so I'm always hesitant to put a date to anything that's more than about 6 months off, just to avoid disappointment.
What else is in store for ENS this year? What can people expect?
We're very intently focused on scaling to L2, and so we've already got a roadmap out for that. We already have functionality that is published in public. It's now a matter of putting the polish on it and making it more usable and easier for people to integrate.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.